So here we have a Microsoft Surface Laptop 2. And this is just supposed to be a quick video to do a radiation demo of this. As you can probably guess, it obviously has Wi-Fi capabilities, and on this particular model, the Bluetooth service is disabled, but the Wi-Fi is on right now. As you can tell, it's connected, and so if I turn on this trusty Cornet EMF meter, you can see that it's picking up some pretty high levels from the laptop. Well over 1-2 microwatts or milliwatts per square meter. And it's not doing much right now, so you see some peaks, probably just Windows communicating with Microsoft or background services, communicating to remote internet servers. But on the whole, it doesn't look like there's that much going on. But let's just, we'll keep that there and just open up a web page or something, and we'll be able to see it actually doing something. So if I just go to, and I'll just go to Bing for this, because it's easy to type. And we've got it entered in there, and as soon as I hit enter, just watch what happens here. And, okay, looks like it's a little bit more active on this side. I don't actually know where the antenna is on this particular unit, so a good way of determining that would be to have your EMF meter here and go around the device and see where exactly you're picking up the highest readings, and it seems like it might be on this side. So if I just type in something here and we check that out, so it doesn't look too bad just from doing a simple web search. I did see spike up to 1 there, but if you were to pull up a YouTube video here, and then you can see how the readings are affected by that. And I'll just click on this first video here, and I'll just you can see, wow, what was that, 1323? So we were picking up some extremely high readings here now. Now, obviously, since this is a YouTube video, it's going to be using a lot more data than, or the bandwidth is a lot greater than would be if you're just loading a web page. So it's going to be communicating with the Wi-Fi access point more, and the radiation is higher. So if you're just if you're not streaming video, you're not going to see levels this high, but we did see there were some still pretty high levels, even without that, 1-2 milliwatts per square meter. And even right now, actually, for some reason, the video failed to load. It says an error occurred, and we're still seeing some pretty high readings for no obvious reason. At 10 milliwatts per square meter there, and yeah, so it looks like the antenna appears to be on this side of the device. Now, just to demo it, here we also have a USB Ethernet adapter that we can use to hardwire this device. And so just to demo that, let me go here, and we can put this computer in airplane mode, because there's so many radios these days that even Windows has an airplane mode, basically. We plug this in now. The devices can be hardwired, so we can still access the network and get internet access. But you can see that readings have significantly decreased now that we've hardwired this laptop. And if you try doing the same thing, and if I pull up another video I'll just pull up this one here. The actual video is not important, but you can see it's loading a video and we're not really seeing any increase in radiation levels, which is what you would expect because the device is in airplane mode. Now on most laptops, consider that they're not in airplane mode, so you're not going to be lucky enough to realize this low level of radiation in most cases. But it's very simple. This is just a simple USB Ethernet adapter. The actual brand is not important, as long as you get one that works. You know, best case, you probably want a computer that has an Ethernet port to begin with. I don't really support the idea of not having one. It seems like a major oversight because it's such a basic thing. But if you, for some reason, have a modern laptop that doesn't have one, the adapters exist. And you can hardwire your computer and enjoy a safer connection to the network. Now let me put this back out of airplane mode. As you can see right here, it says Wi-Fi turned off, connected to the network. But if I take it out of airplane mode again, the radios will turn on. At least the Wi-Fi radio will. And immediately you can see that it's spiking up. And it'll do that periodically, as we saw before and as we're going to probably see now again. But even when you're not really doing anything with the computer, it'll still be communicating, and you can see that on the meter. Whenever your device is communicating over the internet, that these readings will spike up. So let me just load another video here. And I'll just click on this one here. And whoa, 182. I don't know if you just saw that, but that is unexpected. I mean, these are extremely dangerous levels here. Really, anything over 1 is somewhere that you don't want to be. So one thing I want to point out here is you can see that obviously Wi-Fi is on here. Note that I still have the adapter plugged in, and this is something where this is what you would expect, but just something to take note of. You actually have to remember to, if you have to use Wi-Fi for some reason, come back and turn on airplane mode explicitly again. Simply plugging in your adapter. It may use your Ethernet connection, but your Wi-Fi radio is still on. So you actually have to put it back in airplane mode. Plugging in this adapter is not enough. But let me take it out of airplane mode again and unplug this. That way it forces it to use Wi-Fi for all traffic. I'm pretty sure Windows and most operating systems would prefer a hardwired connection if one is detected, but that doesn't prevent the Wi-Fi antenna from broadcasting. And so now you can see that the video is still playing, so that's why these levels are that high. But you can just imagine, you know, typical young people, you know, might be streaming a lot of things these days, and probably sitting fairly close to these devices, and this isn't what most people would think of as, oh, tons of radiation is coming out of this thing, you know. Unlike a mobile device, you know, it's, you know, you don't really associate it with that kind of stuff as much, but it's actually still capable of producing this extremely dangerous RF radiation, or extremely dangerous levels of RF radiation. And this is just to demonstrate that Wi-Fi, even on a laptop, is still very bad. Now, one thing I want to point out is Bluetooth has been disabled on this particular device. So this is just the Wi-Fi antenna. This is not even Bluetooth. So you can imagine if Bluetooth were on, as it probably is with most laptops, it would be even more dangerous. And so I might try enabling the Bluetooth service just for kicks and giggles here, just so we can see what that would do here. You can see this is really the proper way to do it. Like, if you look at all these Bluetooth things, you can see that, you know, the either the service is disabled or just not running. It's pretty much just been disabled at the hardware level. There are two places you want to go to make sure that you've done this properly in Windows. One is the device manager. You want to actually disable Bluetooth at a hardware level. And then you definitely want to disable all the Bluetooth related services here because you don't need them, and there's no reason for them to be running. Otherwise, if you don't disable it somewhere else, you could accidentally find that it's automatically set up to run, as it probably is by default, and that's not something you want. So just disable it in these two places. That's generally better than disabling it here. This is, what Microsoft wants consumers to use to toggle the radios, but this is where you would disable it at a more basic level, and that'll prevent you from accidentally enabling it in the Network Action Center. So make sure you do that. There's unfortunately a significant need for Wi-Fi in some places just because that's the way the world is set up right now, but there's generally no reason to ever have, or there's really no need to have the Bluetooth service running. There's no legitimate application for that really anywhere. Nothing you would need that for. Bluetooth is typically for pairing devices that are nearby and like a mouse or keyboard, and there are definitely much safer and more reliable options like the wired equivalents of those that have been around for a long time. And so there's really no reason you would want the Bluetooth service running. So again, disable it here. This is just services.msc, and the other place to go would be device manager, and that would be where you disable it at a hardware level. Now I think my video is still playing, which is correct. So let me pause the video now. And even with it paused, you can still see levels are fairly high. And right now there's really no other activity on this computer. Yeah, so still extremely high levels there. Nothing close to what you would see if you were using a mobile to make a phone call or something like that. That would actually max out the meter at 1871. So even though this is extremely high, we're nowhere near that, but still extremely dangerous levels. And just to demonstrate that this is definitely the kind of stuff you want to avoid if you want to live a holistic and healthy life. So again, if we come here, and if you actually have no need for Wi-Fi at all, if you're fortunate enough to be in that position, you can just even disable the wireless card at a hardware level, and then you won't even be able to enable it down here. So let's go back into airplane mode on here, and you see the red goes away. So now we're just down to the normal background radiation levels in this environment, which are not terrible. So you can even see in the graph that things have substantially subsided, and we're not seeing any more spikes in the radiation now.